Australia ahead. The end of your journey is in sight as your ship approaches the coastline of Western Australia. But before you land, you have a number of things to do. The ship's doctor assists the Australian Department of Health by checking that passengers have no signs of infectious illness, which may have developed during the voyage. You'll also be given a card to fill for the Immigration Department to record your entry into Australia. Then, just before arrival at Fremantle, your first Australian port of call, immigration officials board the ship to see that your papers are in order. This time, you'll also be given a leaflet headed, Important Notice. This tells you about your obligations under the Aliens Act. Meanwhile, immigration officials check the passenger lists. And now, here is Fremantle. The ship won't stay long, but there's time for a quick visit to Perth, the capital of the state of Western Australia, which is a few miles inland. Those of you who are disembarking in Western Australia will be looked after by immigration officials in Fremantle and Perth. Soon the ship's on its way again, and Melbourne lies 2,700 kilometres ahead. It'll take 4 or 5 days to reach there. While the children are cared for by the ship's playroom staff, you will have to make out a baggage declaration for the Australian Customs. You'll be helped to fill in the form properly. During the voyage, you've been learning English in classes conducted by teachers appointed by the Department of Immigration. Regard these classes only as an introduction to your new language. And remember that you can have more lessons free of charge after you arrive in Australia.
Representatives of Australian banks who board the ship at Fremantle will change your overseas money into Australian currency and are ready to help you with general advice about living in Australia. Now, you are getting close to Melbourne, a city of 2 million people and capital of the state of Victoria.
But you still have one important job to do. To make sure your baggage arrives safely, you must write your name and destination clearly on baggage labels and fix them to your cabin luggage. Soon the ship arrives at Port Phillip Bay and is ready to dock at Station Pier, Port Melbourne. First on board are the immigration officers, who will assist with reception and accommodation arrangements. There are representatives from the Good Neighbour Council who devote themselves to the job of helping newcomers to Australia. No matter how long you've been in Australia, they will help where possible. They hope, of course, that when you are well established, you will join them and help other newcomers. While you've been meeting your new friends, the baggage has been offloaded onto the wharf, ready for you to pass through customs. To make the arrangements for disembarking and customs check easier, you will be issued with an identification number card. On the wharf, you will collect the baggage declaration which you prepared on the ship. The customs officer signs it, and then you get your baggage ready for customs inspection. The inspectors will check your baggage for dutiable and prohibited goods, and will also ensure observance of the very important Australian quarantine regulations on plants and animal products. For those of you who are not going direct to private accommodation, there's special transport to take you to the Bongilla Migrant Centre. You're really on your way. And you'll have time to see some of the Australian countryside on your trip to Bongilla, which is on the main railway line running between Melbourne and Sydney.
Bongilla lies in farming country. It is a pastoral and grazing area. The migrant centre is beside the beautiful Hume Reservoir, which links two rivers, the Murray and the Mitta. In fact, Bongilla is a native name meaning the meeting of the waters. Only 12 miles away is the city of Albury, which is just over the Victorian border in the neighbouring state of New South Wales. At the Bongilla railway siding, buses will be waiting to take you to the migrant centre only a short distance away. It's here you will take the first steps towards your settlement in Australia. On arrival, you will be given the key to your room and an identification card. You will then be shown to the room which will be yours. Children are always hungry, so they are fed first. Their meal is followed shortly afterwards by one for the adults. Being in the heart of a fertile countryside, the food at Bongilla is always fresh and wholesome. Soon after your arrival, you will meet the centre director, who will welcome you to Australia in the name of the Australian government. In his speech, he will give you an outline of what to expect while you are at Bongilla Centre, what services and amenities are available for you. Of course, you will want to ask questions. We hope you won't hesitate to do so. The centre staff will be able to interpret for you if necessary. At this gathering, you will also meet representatives of the Adult Education Service. You'll also find a representative of your church there. After you have settled in, you will pay a visit to the Social Services Office, where each worker will be registered for a special social benefit payment. This sum of money will be paid weekly until you commence employment. Mothers will register for child endowment, a monthly payment made by the Australian government for each child under the age of 16 years. These payments are the same as those received by Australians. Of course, you will be anxious to find suitable employment. The officers of the Commonwealth Employment Service at Bongilla Centre keep in touch with employers throughout Australia. You will find them most willing to help you obtain work as quickly as possible. All Australian residents are required to have a regular chest X-ray as a precaution against TB. There are facilities for you to do this at Bongilla. The Hume Weir provides the centre with a beautiful setting. Those who swim there must take care, as the lake is very deep and very wide and can be very dangerous. The schooling of your children will be in good hands while you are in Bongilla. Bongilla State School caters for children of all age groups. Even the little ones between the ages of 3 and 5 will be able to attend a well-equipped kindergarten under the direction of a trained teacher. Free hospital and medical treatment is available at the centre. The hospital is fully equipped and well staffed. The Creative Leisure Centre is very popular amongst the children, and therefore equally popular with their parents. Here, the youngsters are able to play chess, learn woodwork, draw, listen to recorded music, paint, and enjoy many other activities. There is also a library of books suitable for children of all ages. Here is one young artist's impression of the ship on which he sailed to Australia. The club room of the YWCA is one of the most popular spots at Bongilla, for it is here you can meet your friends and relax over games and music in your spare time. Spiritual welfare is provided for by chaplains of the various religions who reside at the centre. They speak several languages and are always ready with help and advice. The English classes are continued at Bongilla. Migrants who have come before you found that the sooner they acquired a working knowledge of English, the sooner they were able to settle down. Other helpful features of the study centre will be the library and the cinema. But all these are only your first steps in a new country. Bongilla is a transit centre, not a place for continued residence. When you leave Bongilla Centre, you will be entering community life in Australia with the prospects of sharing with all Australians and those who have come before you all that Australia has to offer, and also of making your contribution to the future of your new country.